first rising action, rejection from the vendor being the first conflict.
Okay, so this has to go. Bye-bye.
Which was digging up the seed.
So guys, I'm in the office. Okay, not really office. Like, this is my chill out zone, and it's bloody hot. Like, it's unbearably hot. So I just put this bandana on. Or it's a scarf. Just put it on, and pajama shorts. Let me show you. Actually, I love fashion, and so I'm like kind of comfortable. It's kind of comfortable. It's a normal Sunday, not doing anything. I think this is such a nice space for fashion shows. Fashion shows, yeah. Ooh, I love it. Okay, so I guess next time I'm going live, I'll probably come up with like 2, 3 outfits, and then we can try them together. Cause I mean, so I think about me, as much as I love fashion so much, like truly love fashion, my body has changed so much. And like, I knew how to dress my body, and now I don't know how to dress my body, because look, it's crazy. I've had so many body changes, like gaining weight and losing weight, and getting curves, and not knowing what to do. So don't mind me, I have my TV here. It like kind of shows me what I need to watch, but I can't really watch anything, because, can't really watch anything,
This is my short channel that went viral.
because I don't need to be like affecting my stream. And so yeah, guys, I hope you're good. Today is such a lovely day outside. It's so freaking hot, and having these lights on my face is so crazy. But I'm here for it. I think I was just doing some studies on culture and immigration and all that fun stuff. I don't know if it's fun, but then I'm quite interested in how important it is to leave your country. Like, I know in the Bible, I grew up a Christian, so I know in the Bible, like, they say like a prophet cannot be respected in his own home. Yeah. They killed Jesus. They said he was not their king, even if he was a Jew. And I think that's just amazing. So anyway, guys, welcome to the live stream. I'm trying to get to know everything that happens here. I'm trying to know the chat place, the what. I'm trying to understand my OBS, because come on, it's not easy. But it's amazing. So karibuni, like, can you see I'm sweating like crazy, because it's quite hot. Yeah, today I really didn't have much to do in terms of like like this perfume is more like that cool mint spray to cool yourself down, more than it is perfume. Yeah, so I had a few videos I wanted to talk about and to just watch, but I hadn't planned them out. So first, welcome to the live stream, and don't mind if I'm still trying to figure shit out down here, since it's not that easy. Like, streaming is not that easy, and yeah. So I guess it's since the chat room is empty and it's just me, but it'll be uploaded, and I'm just so grateful for the 6 of you who will watch. Let me tell you, I think we should start with story time and getting to know each other better, so that you can get to know me and I can get to share me with you. And I don't know, you are in the future, probably. You are in the future. I'm here alone, so it's like a fake blind single date, since I can't see my date on the other end, and he's not here or she's not here, because it's a future thing, because no one's on this live, but oh well. And I really want to go on live, and I think it's fun. I actually enjoy creating these videos, coming up with coming up with shit to do, shit to tell you, and I think it's nice. And I also don't know any girl streamers who, not specifically games, because games are like I'm not playing games. It's not my time to play games. So yeah, so I don't know anyone who's streaming to nobody and making stories. So I'll just go ahead and do that as I come up with some videos that I think we should watch, because I've been watching amazing videos online. So my name is Masi Kialo, like, and you're welcome here. Like, if you don't know, my name is MK, and I'm Kenyan. Currently, right now, I'm in Nairobi, and I enjoy being here because of the weather. But not that only, the people and my people are here. But I love traveling so much. It brings so much to me as a human being when I'm out there and I'm seeing new things and I'm, meeting new people. It just is good for me, and I really genuinely enjoy it. I'm a married woman. Oh my God, where's my ring? Wow. This is my second year being married. I think I left my ring beside my bed table. This is my second year being married. I really enjoy it because I think I love the guy. No, not that I think. I love the person I'm with. They're enjoyable, they're easy to be with, and yeah, so that's that. Another thing is, I'm an entrepreneur, so that means like I love to do businesses. I love solutions. I always pour myself out to like solutions. I can't help it, honestly. It's like anytime I'm in a new area or a new place, new situation, new office, new friend group, new anything, I can notice the problems and I can notice the solutions. They're usually so easy. It's like pattern recognition for me. It's usually like I can notice one, two, three things and say, oh yeah, if you do this, you definitely have solved the problem and you're good to go. And I do that with everything. So, like, for example, let me list all the businesses I've started, because I've done quite a number. First business I ever started was when I was 16. I started a broccoli farm, and this was, look, the word farm is too big because it was just outside where we live, my mom's small farm. I started a broccoli farming, and I thought, oh, that was nice. And we're able to harvest something, but it was not good enough. Actually, that first time was my first time trying farming. I thought, oh my God, farming is the next big thing. And at that time, everyone was advertising farming on TV. Oh, people are doing farming this, people are farming that. So it was quite something. So I thought I would love to try. So how that came about was my mom took me, when you're a kid and you're just like a mom's handbag, was that. We went to visit one of her friends, and one of her friends, and she was like, Marcy. So the friend had a beautiful farm. Like, look, there are gardens and there are beautiful farms. And I know gardens have flowers and all that thing, and but farms, when farms are beautiful, she was doing vegetable farming. She was like into horticulture. Horticulture is basically vegetables and flowers and just like horticultural products. They don't have shelf life, so they're fresh products. And I was so impressed. She had basil, she had rosemary, she had cabbage, she had kale, like literally every vegetable you could think of, and they were so healthy. They were so healthy. Do you know, if you go to a horticultural farm and you see the farm, it's like if someone's doing it properly, it's the best place. Like, you literally need to open a small coffee tea shop, because plants give fresh air and they have that relaxing attribute to them. And her farm was quite beautiful, and I have not seen as many beautiful farms. And I was so impressed. So anyway, long story short, I went home and I was like, I want to have a farm. And my mom was like, you know what, go ahead. This, just take the small piece of land that's outside our house, just take that and start growing whatever you can. And listen, guys, I'm so happy to have a parent, or to have parents, both of them really like that, who they don't hesitate. They don't hesitate when you have great ideas, dumb ideas. They just go like, go ahead and do that. And my mom was so instrumental, because most times you sound like you're a crazy person when you start talking about business ideas or solutions and things like that. So anyway, I went and found what do I call it? Like a helper for the farm, a farm boy. It was a farm boy. I went and found a farm boy, and I paid him. And I was like, you know what? I really want you to help me start this farm. And it was really fun in the beginning. Another important note. I remember I went to my brother. So I always remember he was my first ever investor. I went to my brother and I was like, oh, I've always wanted to start a farm, and I saw this farm when we went with mom. I really, really want. So he was like, what do you need? Ah, there goes my first ever capital question. Although I really didn't know. I was so young. I was in Form 2, and that's high school for people in Africa. I don't know. It's called Form 2. So that's like the second year of your high school. I was new and I was so excited for anything. Mm, oh, I have a small cold, so forgive me for that. Yeah, so I went and he gave me 5,000 shillings, which is equivalent to like $50. Yeah, or 50 euros, something like that. And he gave me $50 to start the small farm. I mean, seeds are that cheap, for real. Seeds are so cheap. So I went. I That's how I was able to pay the guy, and I just remember my first interaction with money. It was amazing. I kind of felt like I knew what to do with it. I did the right things. I never spoiled it. The 50 bucks was everything I needed to have like the whole place planted, and so I started. Guys, are you enjoying the story time so far? So if you are here and you're enjoying my shenanigans, please subscribe because I want to do this some more, and I want to meet you. I want to be chatting you, and yeah, so I don't have my chat here, so I can't see anything, but I know there's nobody in the chat room, but yeah, what else. So yeah, he gave me that first amount. I did the seedlings, and it was like waiting for the plants. Meanwhile, I was trying to get our market because like when you're young, all you know is to study about like the specific business. And at that time, I was doing my research on farming while the seeds are actually already in the farm. So it's not like, oh, let me do some research and then I start the business. No, I had already started the farm, and now I was doing the research. So the research was basically saying that a lot of farmers don't make money because of middlemen and brokers, and so the farmers end up getting the short end of the stick. And so immediately my mind told me, you have to be a broker. You have to look for someone to sell this to. Either you sell it to consumers directly, or you find a shop or something that you could sell it to. So I was also like kind of scared. I didn't want to get the short end of the stick. So I start my research on getting brokers or end consumers. I really wanted to sell it to our local supermarket, but when I went there, I was told that they don't directly take goods from locals. Guys, give me a minute. Let me come. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. So look at this cute bag. I'll tell you about it. So just grabbing some toilet paper because I think I have somewhat of a cold. And yeah, so I went, and so the first supermarket I went to, they told me that they don't take things directly, which I thought is so strange. Like, look, you're a supermarket in a small village or a neighborhood, and around there, people around there, farm. Why don't you take local produce? I mean, so crazy. And is the produce ever going to be fresh if you don't engage local farmers? And you see, those are the connections I was making when I was 16, 15, 16. It was so obvious to me. But anyway, so I was sent to a bigger office that just handles vegetables and things like that for the supermarkets, but it handles vegetables and everything for all the chains of supermarkets they have. So I went there and I tried to get a deal. Actually, I remember I went with my sister's boyfriend at the time because I was trying to look like I know what I'm doing. I didn't want to be like a small girl there going like, please, like, would you take my vegetables? No, 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 no. I want it to be serious. So I went to the guy who was so serious. At the time, my brother wasn't home. So I went to my sister's boyfriend. He was Tush. And Tush took me, and it was quite nice. We had conversations with those people, and they seemed to understand what I was doing. At the time, I was doing broccoli and cauliflower, and they advised that the heavier one cabbage is, the better. So I really needed to work on making sure that the harvest was good quality, because otherwise it's not just about like harvesting. And that's what I learned. I mean, when I was starting, I was so naive. I thought it was just put the bloody cabbages or the seeds in the soil and just wait for months, 2 months, 3 months, or 1 month, depending on your cycle. I think that time the cycle was about 2 months. It was supposed to end in 2 months. And so I got on a frenzy. I was so scared when I went home, and I started telling my mom, hey, they're not going to take the cabbages if one is not about 1 kg. So what can we do? Because, like, they don't need to be light. I want one cauliflower to be 1 kg. Do you know how rare? Do you know how rare it is to have one cabbage be 1 kg? It's extremely rare because they don't grow that big. And I was doing it organically. I didn't want to have any pesticides. I didn't want to have any growth hormones, or something like that for plants. I didn't want to have any artificial growth hormones for them. I just want them to be really, really organic. Like my mom's friend was 100% organic, no pesticides, no nothing. But then her farm was quite beautiful, very, very beautiful. So I went back home, and I was just frantically trying to make sure those cabbages get to like 1 kg each, and I couldn't wait. I honestly couldn't wait. So yeah, that was my first experience. So guys, do you think I got to 1 kg per cabbage, per cauliflower, or per what's the other, broccoli? It's very rare and it's not possible. Actually, if you don't use GMO, that's what they call it, genetically modified. What's the O for? Okay, I'll get it in my head. Yeah, so it was fully organic. So when it was time to harvest, oh my gosh, everything was like every cabbage was less than half a kg. Everything was like 200 grams, 300 grams at max, 500 grams at max. So there was no way I was going to get that contract with the supermarket or the chain of supermarkets. But I did try to reach out to them, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we need to see how they're grown and blah blah blah." And so I really didn't get the deal with them. But I went and engaged local villagers and people selling vegetables, like our local vendors. I engaged them. I told them I have them. They bought some. Also cauliflower and broccoli. Especially at that time, like 10 years, 15 years ago, wasn't the most. Actually, it's like 20 years ago. It wasn't very common in households. Like most of us in Kenya, I think most people take cabbage, the white one, the purple one, and also most people do kale. And so introducing like broccoli, and especially with like an elevated price, that is not like kale. Kale is so cheap, but broccoli is a little bit more expensive. Like here, broccoli will be like like $1, like $2 maybe. Um, and kale is like cents. It's so little, and you can buy a lot, and it feeds a lot of people, and it's really also nutritious. So it wasn't popular. So yeah, guys, I had to swallow it. I'm telling you, we ate so much broccoli and cauliflower at home for like a whole month. My mom was like, "Bring those cabbages here." Our budget for cabbages is gone. So we literally spent our time like eating cabbages, and that was my first experience. And as much as it was like a kind of a failure, guys, don't mind me. I have to do this because it's so hot, and I don't want to lose my makeup. So as much as that was a failure, I really didn't let it become like a continued failure. I think also us eating it at home was such a win, and my mom was so happy. and I realized I didn't do blush, so just allow me to do some blush. So what I do with blush, and don't judge me, because I never get like the best pigment for blush for me. Blush for me, blasphemy, blush for me. So I usually use lipstick, and it works so well, and it stays a long time. So I have this purple one, and I have this red one. But this is not a makeup video, so I'll go straight back into my stories. So yeah, it was not that easy. Like swallowing that failure and going back to school, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, how's the broccoli?" Because I had told everybody, and that's a problem. I think every time I'm launching something, I always feel like launching is saying, and it's not necessarily bad, because who will buy if you don't tell people like you have the products? Nobody will buy. But yeah, but once you tell people, just get ready for them to like look at you like, what happened? Did you fail? So crazy. So guys, this is what I do. This is lipstick, but I don't use this lipstick because also I don't like lipstick, especially red. So I smile as hard as I can, like that, like that. That's enough. And then I have another. I wouldn't use my foundation brush. I mostly use my blush, my blush brush, my blush brush, my blush brush, my blush brush, my blush brush. Okay, that's not hard. So yeah. So guys, you have to smile when you're applying this, because it needs to be just on your cheeks, and has to go all the way. Nice. Yeah, so I swallowed that not so happily. I told my friends in school that things didn't work out. And I remember just talking about how, that's nice, works. Talking about how that didn't work with one of my friends called Mona. We decided to start another business together. But at that time, I had read extensively about forest farming, tree farming. So you basically get a huge piece of land and you plant a lot of trees, and you plant a specific type of tree. I think it is eucalyptus. And then after like years, like 10, 15 years, you sell them to the government. And I thought that was really nice, especially because back at home, my dad had tracts and tracts of land. I thought that would be perfect. But back at home is Ukambani Mwingi, so like it's a semi-arid place. So eucalyptus is not possible, because one of the problems of eucalyptus is that it really sips a lot. It takes a lot of water from the ground, so it's not really good. Because when it rains, it really takes up a lot of water, so they're not really good for the climate. But they're really used by electricity companies, especially like the one we have in Kenya KPLC. So that's the idea I had, and I thought that was really, really nice. And I thought, okay, look, it's an investment. It's like 10 years. If we could get a piece of land somewhere that is very fertile, and where we can actually just let the eucalyptus grow, not anywhere close to a water table, so that it doesn't affect the water table because it sips in so much water. Like, can we just find an appropriate place? So my friend and I decided that that was going to be our next business after I failed that one. And Muna and I decided to meet every time. And let me tell you, when you're in high school and you're trying to meet up friends, it's practically impossible, because your parents have to take you to places. You're not really allowed to get out of the house and go roam in town alone. Like, I mean, it was practical. It was very hard, but we did find our way out. Like, during the holidays, we'd always like sit down with our parents. Like, first of all, Muna being a Muslims, maybe it was a little stricter for her, but I mean, for me, I just had to explain to my mom, okay, so this is what we're doing now. She's like, here you go again. And so I was like, so this is what you're doing now. We're going to plant trees. And I say this big idea, and she's like wondering, like, what trees, which land, where, how you gonna start. And I basically told her we're looking for we're looking for an investor. And like the way my brother was my first investor, this time I just we needed to find a big investor. So I remember we went to a politician. I don't know how we met this politician. I think we it's so funny when you're on the journey, when you're looking for specific things, when you set your mind like, I want an investor, somehow you will start working in the back of your mind knowing that you're looking for an investor. So the people you'll be talking to, the friends you'll have, the parents you'll talk to, literally everything, the articles you'll read, you'll be looking for people, and for the right people. And I think some of that is done in the back of your mind. Your subconscious, once you go like, I want to look for X, your subconscious mind takes it over and now runs even without you knowing. And that's why sometimes you'll be sleeping and you're like, let me call that guy. Or sometimes you meet people and you don't know what they do, or you don't even know them, but you somehow become useful to them, and then later on you realize, that guy does this and he did this to me. I mean, just like the way Steve Jobs said, you can only connect the dots when you look back. You can only connect the dots when you look back. Sometimes you never know, but when you look back, you realize, there's a pattern and there was a whole design to this chaos. It looked like chaos then, but it was a whole design. That's why I think it's beautiful. I believe in God because of that, because I see design in chaos. I see design in my chaos, in my life, when things are so chaotic. After I've passed a chaotic stage, I realize, that was meant to happen because of this, and that happened because of that. Interesting. But when you're deep in the chaos, you don't even know what to do next. And that's why most people are told, hey, don't stick there just wondering what to do. Just do whatever comes into your mind, because your subconscious, that is connected to God, or is probably the Holy Spirit, is always guiding you. Okay, guys, 1 second. I need to charge this phone. Nice. So, yeah, that was basically how I started. How I thought, how I think things work. That your subconscious always has it, and especially when you have good intentions, the Holy Spirit, your subconscious, will always like guide you. So I remember we got the number to a very, very prominent politician. If I could remember his name, he's still alive, and he Kibuda Kibwana, or I don't know. Either it's Kibuda Kibwana, I think it's him, actually. I think that's the name, because it was so strange. And we actually met up with him, and we called him, and we're like, is this Kibuda Kibwana? So strange. And we're like, we have a business idea that we really thought you would love, and we think you'd really, really like this, and we really want to meet you and show this to you. Oh, that was quite nice. He accepted to meet us, and we went and we sat down. I think one of the Javas, and we had our own version of a business plan, which was just like a word page that explained like the trees and how long it takes and what we really need and blah blah blah. And it was quite fun to have a good meeting with him. He didn't even treat us like children, yet he knew we were kids. He knew. He knew we were in our second year of high school, so he knew we were children, but he took us so seriously. Again, guys, forgive me. I need handkerchief, because why? Yeah. So where can I get one? Anyway, so yeah, I think that really ignited something in us, and he told us the process of afforestation, planting trees. He just basically poured out his life experience on that project, and he told us it's very possible, but at that time he didn't think we were really equipped because we were in high school, or rather, like, look, we might have been able to, who knows, but really we didn't have the capacity because we needed to get land, we needed to get the trees. They're like, one is 100 bob, and you need thousands of trees. Like, honestly, a tree farm needs like 10,000 trees, 5,000 trees. So you need to be able to have that kind of money for seedlings, and you basically can't do that alone. You can't go out there and just plant the trees on your own. Me and my friend Muna just like, oh, one tree after another, and keep with a kibwana. We're like, okay, and the old guy there, another. No, no, no. It was impossible because you need to hire a fleet of people to also take care of them when they're seedlings until a certain age, and then now you can let them be. So I truly think that's a beautiful business idea for anyone out there who has like trucks and trucks of land, and it's ancestral land. You can't sell it, you can't do nothing with it. I think it's important. I think you could do tree farming, especially for KPLC. Although these days I see that they've stopped using the trees as posts, and with climate change coming slowly, the posts will be replaced. It will be more concrete posts than the trees, but I know they still use them. And also trees can still be used in so many ways, building material, like so many ways, in books. But I don't know if it's safe for the environment anymore. So, but that's a really good business idea. I don't remember the numbers, but I remember that after 10 years, like, let's say you buy a seedling at 100 bob. Think of it, after 10 years you are selling that tree. I don't know if it was I don't know if it was 1,000 or 10,000. Genuinely, I don't know. But the math made sense. And truly, if I had that capacity, by now I'd be a millionaire or a billionaire. Actually, like, forget millionaire. I don't want to be a millionaire. I've been a millionaire. It's nothing. I think when you're a millionaire, you're just middle class. There's nothing different about being a millionaire. You can just basically afford your house and food and things like that, but you need to be like a multi-millionaire, and if possible be a multi-millionaire in like euro currency or dollar currency, just not a Kenyan millionaire. But anyway, doesn't matter. If you have money, it's good. If you don't, you need to find it, and that's the problem with money. Those who have it have a clear head and they can do everything else, and those without can only think about money, and that's the biggest trap, and that's the problem. That's why guys say money buys happiness. It doesn't actually buy happiness, it just buys you time to be happy. But when you don't have money, you don't have the time to be happy, and that's the problem. But I veer. So I wish I did that business idea, although we really worked on it. So after meeting Kip with the Kibwana, I remember we sort of felt like it was not gonna happen. It was for real reasons. We didn't have the land, and anyone you'd approach were like, "Oh, we have this idea," and they have the land. They're like, "Okay, why would I involve you guys? I could do it on my own." So it didn't just make sense. It really just didn't make sense. Hey, I've won this bandana. I've won this bandana, guys, and it's a scarf. It goes up to the back. And it's quite hot because it's silk. Oh, I hope it just doesn't drop. Yeah, so I think we went back to school and we're like back to the drawing board. I'm telling you, from a long time when I was a kid, I was like, I'm killing poverty. I did not want to be in poverty. As in, I grew up in, probably it was a tough time. My parents civil servants, and at one point only one parent was working, and the other had to travel abroad to find, a better life. Um, a better life, and so it was mostly like a single parent situation, and a single parent with 4 kids. I mean, civil servant paycheck, it was not that easy. So from when I was so young, I just always wanted to already like. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry. I just want to put this light here because it's quite nice. Look, just touch. So I'm just gonna light myself up because more lights the better. Oh, there you go. Put it behind there. Can you see me better? Okay, here's me with the light. Without the light. With the light. Without the light. So with the light. Oof, more sweating, more hotness, more heat. Yeah, so it was so crazy. So around at the same time, I ended up meeting, oops. Yeah, I ended up meeting another prominent business person in Kenya. He passed on a few years later. He was called Jacob Juma, and he was like he was the first serial entrepreneur I ever met, and he was vicious. He was, whew, I don't even remember. I think I met him through like friends, sisters, friends, or something like that. But so we went up to him, my friend Mona and I. We were like, "Hi, we've always wanted to start a business, and we respect you so much. You're a businessman, and you guys, I just want to let you know, like, when I think about life now for young girls, I'm so scared because it was so different for us. We didn't have to get scared to meet older men. They knew we were young girls. They didn't try anything funny, and they protected us and they listened to us. Like, I mean, especially now that the Epstein files have come out and we're seeing how people are eating children. Like, forget raping, eating, like emulsifying them in acid and eating them, their flesh. That's crazy. We used to think that's conspiracy talk. It's not. Apparently, it's not. Apparently, it's not. Crazy. So, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. And then, girls being trafficked. Looking back right now, my friends and I, we just, we grew up in such a safe society. I don't know if it's because we're in Africa and, there's so much respect between old people and young people. But guys, funny story. Let me just veer off this one story. When I was like about 11, I tried to run away from home. I don't know how many of you guys tried to run away from home. I tried it. So I tried to run away from home, and when I got to like the village, the mall's neighborhood, we had a mall in the neighborhood. When I got there, can you imagine you ran away to the mall? So dumb. So dumb. Sometimes it's just a cry for attention. Like, look at me, I'm going. If you don't look at me, I'm going. So I ran away, and then I met this older guy who had this unique car. I had seen a car like that before. It was a convertible Mercedes, but I, hadn't really like seen it up close. The guy just started saying, "Hi, how are you? What's your name?" And because I was running away from home and I was trying to be, rebellious, I was like, "My name is Masim. You live around here?" "Yes." Blah blah blah. I was so angry. I told him I'm running away, and you know what? The guy just bought me ice cream, got me into his convertible. We did rounds in Ongatarongai. Like, at that time, it was not as crowded as it is right now. And so we did rounds. And every time I would go to Tuskys is a mall, I would just see his car and I know, hi. And he'd be so happy. He buys me ice cream again and takes me around. So nothing crazy ever happened. Like rape. Like, I was not in danger. So I feel so sad for younger girls these days because it's almost like you can't trust anyone with a young girl, even a woman, because they could be trafficking the girls. And I'm so glad for the society and the culture I grew up in because I was protected from even thinking that, like, I knew you could be kidnapped. I wasn't dumb, but there was a sense of safety, you know? And I know it's crazy when I say I was entering some older guy's convertible, but I was. It was crazy. And I was 11. But he did nothing to me. And I never felt any sense of he's a bad guy. No, I never. And he basically would just tell me, don't run away, you know, you need education to have a good life, like this car. If you want this car, you want a car like this, you have to be in school and you have to obey your parents. Like, he'd tell me that all the time because he knew I was gonna run away. But then I really ended up not running away, and I don't know how it ended that we stopped meeting up. I didn't have a phone, so I think I just, it just, I don't know what happened. Like, since I didn't have a phone and sometimes I wasn't allowed to go out, probably kept missing me and I kept missing him, and it just fizzled out, and I went to boarding school. Actually, that's what happened. Yes, yes, yes. I actually went to boarding school and I was pretty young, like I think I think 11. Actually, I went to boarding school when I was 11 or 10 and 10 and a half. And by the time I was coming to visit, like, back home, I never saw his car again, at the mall. So whatever, that went that way. So I was just trying to tell you that I grew up. I grew up putting myself out there, in terms of finding investors, and I grew up reading, about investments and businesses. And I remember reading the book. I think it was like Virgin, yeah, by Richard Branson, and I was so inspired. I genuinely, I didn't see it any other way other than to be like a billionaire, which I'm still on the running. But then I was so inspired from when I was such a young baby. So for me, how I approached people the way Richard Branson was approaching people. He always wanted to start businesses. Never really had the resources to. So it was all about putting one and two together, or having various people meet and you having a good idea, going the long haul with your idea. Like, that's the kind of childhood I had. And even when I went to school, since I wasn't so social, but I think I was a cop. That's like a prefect, a class prefect, or a school prefect. I was always like reading books on business, even if it's a small book, or even if I never get to finish it. I was always reading books that would be super inspirational. So yeah, that's how we end up meeting Mr. Jacob Juma. Oh my gosh, again. Oh my god, guys, I officially have a running nose. I officially have a running nose. And my cup is about to go. So don't quit, don't quit, don't quit, don't give up on me. Don't give up on me. So yeah, that's how I met Jacob Juma, and he was genuinely an inspiring guy. I remember going to his apartment, in Lavington. He had invited us for lunch, and it was beautiful. Like, oh, I'm trying to tell you, like, that was one of the most beautiful apartments I had seen. It was a penthouse, and it was like well decorated, it was well furnished. It was amazing. And then I saw a picture he had over there of him, and like his the house he grew up in. Oh my god, guys, he came from utmost poverty. I remember him telling me the story of how when like he's those guys who back at home they had like a madhouse when he was growing up. And I saw the picture of the madhouse, and him outside there, and he had built a house for his mom, and he was just showing us like, hey, I grew up in a madhouse. when I went to Nairobi University, which is like the biggest university in Kenya, public university, like girls couldn't talk, didn't want to talk to him. They really didn't want to have conversations. Nobody wanted, because he was like a village boy, and I think he was studying engineering, if I'm not wrong, and he was really smart. So he was just inspiring. But then I think I remember one thing about him. He was sharp with his mouth. Like, he could tell you exactly what was going on in his head, and he was also like, and I don't want to defame a dead person, but he had very little regard for women, very little regard. And I think the only way we were able to like create a friendship with him, Muna and I, was because we were young girls and really didn't have, we didn't want money. We wanted to start a business, with him. We wanted to learn how to start a business. And but through his interactions, we met a few of his friends. I remember one time when we met a lady who he had helped start a furniture business in a high-end mall, and I think he spanked her. It's like, come here, you, sit down. I've helped this woman so much. I've helped her so much. Look at how she's shining right now. Tell these girls. We thought that was quite humiliating for her, and she did look uncomfortable. But I guess because, I think he was going through that poor boy trauma of not having any money when you're in uni, and girls just dispense of you. They hate you. They think so little of you. And then when you get out and you get a good job and you start making a lot of money, you start, you're like revenging for these women. So I think that's what happened to him. He would start, like, he would always have very beautiful women around him. And he would really not respect them as much. Like, he would say anything that's coming from his head. Like, and you know how, if I start saying everything that's like anything and everything that's coming from my head, like, you might not like what I say, some things will be TMI. And so I realized, like, he always had these beautiful young women coming to visit him. Not young in terms of like underage, but beautiful women coming to visit him. And he really had little regard. And so this is what he told us to do. We want to start a business. So the first thing we did was, hey, welcome. Hey, guys, my husband just walked in, so don't mind us. So, but yeah, I'm telling them the story of Jacob Juma and meeting Jacob Juma. I know. So yeah, he told us, like, if you want to start a business with me, I have something I already want to start. So forget the trees, forget the whatever. Like, yeah, you're gonna have to start the business I want. And we're like, yeah, forget the trees. We put all those papers away because anyway, it was not gonna happen. So we started by. So he gave us the idea. He wanted to franchise McDonald's. And that's why I'm telling you, this is a prominent, smart business person. He wanted to franchise McDonald's back then. There was not even KFC in Kenya. There was not even KFC. It was crazy. So this is the first time I even heard the word franchise. And he said, you know what, I want you to go and study about franchising McDonald's, the requirements, like everything we need. You guys are lead on this project. That was all we needed to hear. Oh my God. Muna and I mean, look, we're students. We don't have the money to start any business. We don't have the connections. What we have is the time, and you can study. We can research. So we did like a deep dive. We did a deep dive. What's it called? Like research on how to franchise McDonald's, and we realized actually there weren't anywhere in Africa except South Africa at that time. I think, were they in South Africa 20 years ago? I don't know. I'm not too sure, but I think they had a restriction to Kenya, so that couldn't fly. We tried to look at other. We actually reached out to them. If I look in my Gmail, I'm sure I can find like the email they sent back. with the amounts of money required to franchise one and the issues they had with our country back then. I think there's also like a lot of geopolitics when it comes to franchising. You can't just franchise from anywhere and to anywhere, because you have to look at the safety of that country, the probability of success, and to have no McDonald's all the way up until now, knowing what I know, knowing what's required, it's not that expensive. I think it was 100 million shillings. 100 million shillings is about $1 million, to franchise, and to do all that. It was possible, but to see that it's not, we don't have McDonald's until today, it's strange because it's possible. But we do have KFC and a few other. I think we had Subway, but Subway, it looks like Subway sold out to a local, and they left because there's something strange. Actually, right now Subway is called the Sub, which I know is not the same. So it just looks like they're tricking us a little with the brand, but the franchise left. But we've had various franchises in Kenya, and they seem to do well. Um, Nando's, Nando's is quite known. Galitos, I don't know if many people Galitos. No, Galitos, I think it's an African brand, I don't know. But yeah, we've had quite a number, but we've never had McDonald's. I think it would be so painful after we've tried our best, and then, we don't have it. Come on. It would be so painful for me and Muna to just see, like, oh, McDonald's coming up. Yeah, so we did all that research and we took it to him, and then we met up with his lawyer, and we just started going through the documents and, what could be done, what couldn't be done. We reached out to the various people. We reached out to McDonald's, and they gave us a checklist. But then they were concerned about the country, the safety, the politics, and I think ultimately that's what led to us not moving forward with that. But at the same time, Mr. Jacob Juma was quite kind with Muna and I. He was also always giving us a lot of knowledge about business, about politics, about just surviving. I remember I think the last memory I have of him in my head was he had, was it just he was selling land that he had in Parklands, and it was expensive, because I think at that time he showed us, and I think it's okay to talk about it because he's long deceased. The land was like 300 million, which is about $3 million, right? It's about $3 million. And he was so excited. He was like, oh my God, I got a buyer in Parklands. I'm so happy. I have this land. I bought it like 10 years ago, and now it's ready. It's near a roundabout. He was explaining to us, and he was so excited. And I remember he had just imported, he had just imported a new Range Rover, the newest at that time. And he was telling us he was showing us and he always had to show us. I don't know why. I think he was traumatized from his childhood, people not believing him or believing in him. And so he was like, just see here, I have the title, and the dealer's gone through. I'm so happy, he was so happy, and he was customizing his Range Rover. Another one, so the one he had was in chocolate. The seats were in chocolate. The dashboard was in chocolate leather, and so the other one he wanted, the seats were going to be caramel mixed with chocolate. You guys, talking about a girl who grew up in a very humble neighborhood on Gatarongai, and hadn't really seen a lot of wealthy people. And they're wealthy people, and they're wealthy people. There's such a difference. There is such a difference. I was so shocked that people could customize their cars. Like, the cars we had were like second, third hand, and we're just lucky to have a car. But to think someone out there is customizing a Range Rover was almost impossible for me. So I always thank Jacob Juma in my head. I'm like, for the exposure, for telling me what it is to be a serial entrepreneur. He literally told me, I'm a serial entrepreneur. And I was like, what does that mean? It was like, I start many businesses. I don't stay and become CEO of one business. As soon as I have it up, as soon as I put money in it, I have the systems up, I hire a CEO, and I'm sure the whole system is working, I move on to the next business. I start it all over again from ground up. I do this. And then after I have like various businesses, I sit back and I'm like, okay, so what needs to be changed? Who needs to go where? And he just manages his various businesses. I was like, wow, that's everything. That's all I want to be. Because I hope my stories are actually going somewhere. So yeah, that was basically getting to know another prominent business person in Kenya. And I think we went back to school, and it just fizzled out, because at this point we were getting to our third and fourth year in high school. And that meant that we really needed to like concentrate on school, concentrate on cramming. Right now I would do things differently, because I know that school is important, especially you to finishing school is important. But honestly, the amount of knowledge I got from these business people, prominent business people and politicians when I was young was so important. Interacting with them showed me something so different. Like they plan their time is important, they show up for meetings on time. All those people had those aspects of showing up on time. And they were disciplined, and they were vicious with their goals, and they were focused. So I really learned a lot from those people, and I really admired them. And so if you're out there and you also want a great life or a great future for yourself or your children, I think more than going to school, more than going for programs, just find people who could just inspire them. That's like a cheat code of life, because when you see someone rich, wealthy, doing well for themselves, and something with admirable characters, when you see that, it just gives you some goodwill, and it's possible. I think the one thing we all don't know is what's possible. So when you see something that's possible, and you see Epstein files, what's possible, you're like, okay, I'll protect myself. Yeah, so that's basically how we ended up meeting Jacob Juma, and my love for business continued to just grow and grow. And I love it so much. I love that we put so much effort in meeting people when we were younger. I love you so much, Muna, for being with me through those times. Like, I have been so blessed, especially I'm blessed to have like the people around me who just go like, yes, let's do this, let's go meet those people, let's arrange those meetings, let's ask for capital, let's be bold. It's so important to be bold. It has been the most important thing in my life. And yeah, so that's probably where I stopped with the business ideas that were not really going anywhere. After high school, straight after high school, I was so interested in getting into the job market early. So I started to do various jobs here and there. I never really like waited. I was like, immediately I wanted to do anything like volunteer work, volunteering for free, like free work. I mean, volunteer is free, so I wanted to do free work. I wanted to put myself out there. I just always wanted to put myself out there. But very soon enough, I was in uni. So first year of uni, unfortunately, I felt sick and I had to get out of uni for like a year, you guys. And so when I went back, that's a story for another day. Actually, I'll do a live for that story. So, but when I went back, I remember telling my friend at the time, my bestie was called, how am I forgetting? Like, I love her so much. I think it's The Light. But I told my bestie, like, hey, Esther, let's start a small business. I wanted to sell knickers and bras, so panties and bras. And we had to go and look for them. And so this is a one business idea that actually worked. We'd go to another part of town that has like they sell wholesale clothes. That part of town is called Isili. So we'd go to Isili and we'd buy knickers, bras, like of all shapes and sizes, cute ones, easy, simple ones, anything, and boxers and vests. Yeah, so it was like basically we you know basically we would bring them to school, and because our school was kind of bougie, it was not a public uni, it was a private uni. And so we knew not many people go to buy bras. Bras, it's one of those things, guys. If you want to start a business and you're a lady and you want to start a business, bras is a good one, because many women and I know you guys can attest, you can have one bra for a long time, or even two bras just for a very long time. And just because you don't get to pass by somewhere where they sell them, they're so rare. Bras are not the one thing you can just go searching for, or buy all the time, or even buy online. You just kind of have to try it. So it was a really good one. So if anybody out there is thinking of a side hustle, something easy, I think knickers and bras is something. And soon enough, we realized, like, oh, and we would hook. Literally, we'd have this big paper bag, cute big paper bag, and after school, like at around 5, we would wait for these guys who are coming for evening studies, because they have jobs, they had money. And we'd sell our bras, we'd sell our panties. I remember us putting, like, stepping aside with some of the women who were actually quite big, and they'd be like, I really like, but please look for a size what? And they like measure, just look for this size, look for this size. And even with the bat, they'd be like, I want this, I want to impress my husband, so I want lingerie. I want you to find me what's the one that cracks the bat? Thongs. Find us thongs at work, and it was almost like a little secret, and I really loved it, because the women would be like, after we passed there, she's like, me, I'm looking to impress my husband with lingerie. Do you have something for my size? And of course, like, the wholesale people, they really didn't have things bigger than like size 10. And 10 was so small in Kenya, because most women are quite, chunky. Look at me now. Size 10 lingerie won't go anywhere here. So it'll get lost in the body. And so we decided to start our own brand. But I remember we'd make bank. Like, every week we'd make like 20,000 shillings. That's a lot of money. That's like $200, give or take. 200 euros, give or take. And for a student, 200 euros in profit is quite much. We used to be so happy. And because that time cash was everything, we'd hold the cash like this, put it in our pockets, and sometimes we could make even double. So we'd just shove them all in our pockets. And then, we didn't, what's funny? We never even used to buy anything. It was just making money that was making us happy. And the fact that we could afford, taxis. Uber wasn't really there yet, so we could afford taxis. We could afford lunches, even with other students. It was quite fun. So we decided, for the bigger women, since they were willing to pay like a bigger price, or a bumped up price, because they knew we'd have to look further for bigger sizes, we decided to create our own brand, and it was called Mkeresi. Mkeresi, which is MK and SC, Mkeresi, which also could mean caress me. We're like caress Mkeresi, so it was like that. So we created this brand called Mkeresi, and we went to do so the whole point of creating a brand is you have to have a product. So we started to first with the product. We went and we visited like material shops. We were trying to figure out, like, what's the best material for panties, what's the best material for bras. And soon we just realized, hey, since we're not like a manufacturing country or people, the raw materials don't really exist. Like, if you want to create a bra from scratch, good luck finding that material. It's very hard. But we could find things that were similar. And then we went and found a good stitcher, and we basically just were giving them the inspo. And I remember this teacher was an old woman, but we were told she's really good, she's really clean, and she was in town. And so we were showing her our inspo images, like, oh, so we want you to create this. And she's like, what? Because, lingerie can look really, what do I call it? Like, look, we're asking her to create cufflinks. We're asking her to create cufflinks. We're asking her to create thongs. We're asking her to create bras with open nipples. We're asking so much. Looking back now, I think the issue was, either we dreamt too big for our market. We tried, but we had some cash, so we bought the material. We went to the guys. We tried. It was nice. It was nice. And yeah, so we went out there, and we made I think about 12, and they were so beautiful. Like, honestly, the lady tried her best. She really did try her best to to put out, like, to give us the beautiful clothes. And I think, as much as it wasn't so nice, look, we did a good job. We did a photo shoot. The photo shoot was amazing, let me tell you. So this is where friends come in. We had a friend called Marion, and her mom had a beautiful house, like a palace of a house. And we're just like, oh my gosh, Marion, please let us use your house for a photo shoot, please. And she was like, okay, as long as nobody sees what you're doing. So we go, and since the house was so big, there was some section with rooms, and those rooms were so beautiful. We got some models from school. We got them wearing lingerie, and we modeled. And I still have one or two photos from then until now, and I'm so proud when I look at those photos. I just think I'm a dynamic person, and I love to try new things. I love lingerie. Not that I wear it all the time, but I love lingerie because lingerie makes you feel feminine and sexy and hot. Um, and also, lingerie can be exciting, and anything that makes you feel nice. And so I think, looking back, I really admire whenever I have those strokes of inspiration, and nothing gets in the way. Nothing, no matter where, there's no machinery, there's no material, there's no existing business, there's no money. Like, all those things don't have to get in your way, because you could just always decide to go through the next hurdle. I think the whole point of humanity is going through hurdles, because they always come one after another, one after another. And even if you look at your life, most of the times it's just full of hurdles. And if our life has no hurdles, it becomes so freaking boring, so freaking boring. So yeah, that's basically how we started MCRSI. We did the photo shoot, but when we went to the ground, I think they were so bizarre. I think the designs were so bizarre. Yeah, we sold, because we had women who were waiting for them. Yes, we sold, but we really never got them to come back, because it was like so freaky. You can imagine a big woman, like a respectable woman, like wearing this thong that goes through here, and like it's crazy. I would totally open another lingerie brand. I would totally. Right now, of course, I would produce in a producing country like Vietnam or China, wherever. Like, but then I still believe in MCRSI as a brand and as a product. It's a really beautiful one. And just think about it yourself. When's the last time you bought a bra? It's, you know, if those that you have seem to work all the time. But then, and when's the last time you bought lingerie? Was it during a birthday? Was it like an anniversary? And where do you go? You guys, forgive me. I guess I have a running nose and I wasn't prepared. So where do you go? So that's basically it. And after that, we really didn't want to continue, because we didn't have a production place. We didn't have the material. There's so many moving parts, and so I think for like we did it for like a year and got the money. We always had money to like at least pay for a few things and here and there, and it was fun. Swimming, everything we wanted we could do. I remember Esther and I even tried to do YouTube a long time ago, but it was so strange. Oh my god, it was so strange shooting. It was always so nice. So after that, that's when I got a job at a. In my second year is when I got a job at an advertising firm, and I loved the job because it was basically creating brands. Like I would see them come up, like get a very old wash up brand, clean it up with a lot of communication, flyers, posters, TV ads, radio ads, influencers, and then make it into something new. And I was astonished. So one of the projects I remember we worked on was there's a condom brand in Kenya that was sponsored by the government. It was called Trust, and that condom brand was known to be the cheapest condom you could find in the market. And anyone who's coming to meet you with trust, you're just like, hey, don't you value me? It's not the same as if someone was coming to meet you. When you meet someone with what's there's that other one. Just forgot it. I mean, guys, I told you I've been married for 2 years, so I might forget this condom brands. But then, yeah, so we were trying so much to make Trust a beautiful, lovable brand, and we did it. It was amazing. To me, it was magic because I just never knew that there were people who take brands, wash them, hang them, they're clean, and then give them back to people. I just never knew that, and then I realized, oh my goodness, so basically business is communication, product and communication. When you have those two things, you have a business, or you could have a business. It's a good foundation for a business. So have a good product that works. The condom must work. The Trust condom was good. It was working. The only problem is that it was a cheap brand, and people knew it as a cheap brand, and nobody wanted to associate with it. And expensive brands like Durex, yes, expensive brands like Durex was so expensive, especially for younger people in uni. Uh, Durex every day or every now and then is quite expensive. Like you'd be running out of your pocket money very soon buying condoms. And so Trust was a good product. It wasn't going to. It was still a government sponsored product, so not or an NGO sponsored product, so it was still not going to be expensive. It was going to be accessible, but it was going to be a brand that gives you dignity and makes you feel good about yourself. And so I just got addicted to what happens when you can actually create a beautiful brand. And so that leads me into me starting shoes. Whew. So guys, listen, this live was just basically a chit chat, and I might just have to leave it here so that we can go back live much later again and you can get to know me. So for this live, that was it, and thank you so much for joining me. And if you think this is cool, subscribe and leave me a comment. Let me know, hey, what do you want to know? What do you want to stream about? I want to be a streamer. I want to be streaming, but I don't play games like Fortnite and Roblox. Like, I mean, what can I stream? So later on, I'll be streaming about some videos that I thought were very interesting and I want us to watch together. But right now, it was just get to know me. I love business. Somehow, I get to meet these heroes in business, and they inspire me so much. From the first one I met through a book, um, Richard Branson, to the last one who you're about to know, you're gonna know as we continue. But I continue to meet people who put their best foot forward and work so hard and go through hurdles no matter what. And it encourages me, no matter what I have to go through my hurdle, I have to do something. I have to encourage myself to get out there. And sometimes it's so hard. Sometimes I don't leave bed because I'm is it the word is deliberated? De- or rather, I'm crippled by stress. I'm crippled by depression. I can't leave bed. I can't leave the house. I can't do nothing. But I just do it. I go out there because of the kind of influences I've seen in my life and the people I've met. I come from a very humble background, very, very humble. But the people I met, they really encouraged me to go out there, because some of these people have also come from very humble backgrounds, and they seem to have a vision in their head that cannot be stopped by anyone, and they go after those things that they want. And even when they fail, and they fail hard, they still wake up and do it again. And so that's kind of who I am. I really believe in waking up and doing it again, and being consistent, and putting your creative energy out there, and having good intentions put out there in the world, and just giving it your best. And also, surrounding yourself with good people, smart people, amazing people who impact that in you. Anyway, guys, until the next